Welcome to the Heart and Mind of Business. If you have joined us before, you will be really clear that we talk about the strategy and the mindset for new entrepreneurs. And today we've got a real treat for you because Clara is going to be sharing with you all things getting organized for your business. This is so her deal, and you're not going to want to miss this. We'll see you in a minute. So getting organized can be really interesting if you're setting up a new business. And I know, Clara, you love getting organized. This is
I
your
do.
bag. So
Yes.
open that bag and share your goodies.
I will. This is my jam for sure. That sounds silly that I love organized and being organized and getting organized, but I really think it comes from a place of I find comfort in the consistency that comes with being organized. So for instance, my purse at home, when I get home, my purse goes in the same place when I get home every day. I don't think about it because it's always in the same place. And when I want my purse, guess what? I know where my purse is. and I'm married to somebody who is less that way. And so on a regular basis, honey, have you seen my keys? Like, usually I have seen his keys and I can direct him to where his keys live at that moment, but they're never in the same place twice. Or have you seen my wallet? Where's my phone? Right. But so that's brain space he's having to use brain space to keep track of things. And it's so simple. I know where mine are always because I put them in the same place. Right. So that's just a glimpse into my nature, which tells you why I love the whole organization thing. So in the business world, organization can be a scary thing for a new entrepreneur, especially if you don't have that natural tendency as a just personality to be everything has its place and is in its place. If you're not that person, it can be much scarier, much more overwhelming to get organized in your business. But it's this simple. If it is something that is a repeated task, you need a system for it. If it's something that you need to track, you need a standardized way to do so. If it's something that is going to keep you out of hot water with the powers that be, the IRS or the whatever govern your business, your structure, your paying of taxes, whatever it is, if that's true, then you need a trackable way, a standardized trackable way to keep yourself in good standing, shall we say. Keep yourself out of hot water. So the first thing that comes to mind when I help a new entrepreneur get organized is we break it down to the customer journey. Now, you and I have talked about the customer journey before, and that's simply the process that the customer goes through from the time they hear about you first to the time that they are a raving fan customer, right? Their journey, anywhere along there, they've interacted with your business, that's an opportunity for you to capture information and track stuff. So I usually, beyond marketing, which is, not everyone you market to is going to become a client. That still needs to be standardized, but I'm talking when that phone rings and you say, hi, what can I do for you? Right? From that point on, having a way to track those things become important. So a customer intake form is a really good idea. That's a good example. So I have a customer intake form when I talk to somebody new. If you don't have something that you can grab, so like mine's on a clipboard, so I can grab it and it asks all of the pertinent information that I could ever want to know about them. So while I'm on the phone talking, I can be filling out this form, their name, whatever information that they give me that I might want to refer to later. Customer intake form, super important. I'm sure you have a similar process for your clients.
Not in the same way.
Not in the same way.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that's interesting because I was gonna say to you, do you do everything electronic now? And then suddenly you said I get a one on a clipboard, and I thought,
I
how
don't.
interesting.
I
So
don't do that electronically.
no, so mine's electronic. So I will
Ah,
ask people before a conversation when they're booking it in my calendar, there'll be a link. Well, depending, say they're wanting to talk about coaching and understanding more about coaching,
mhm.
then there'll be a link where that takes them to a questionnaire and they fill it in. So they might give a little bit of detail of who they are, what do they want, where are they feeling, what's going up for them, what do they want to get out of coaching, just so that I have an idea, and I keep that obviously for my insurance records.
Sure.
But then I have an idea of, right, okay, this is where they're coming from.
Mm.
Now I can get a feel of where the conversation, how can I help them? Maybe I can't help them. Maybe I don't think I'm the right person for them, and being clear on that. But yeah, no, I sort of have a bit of an electronic funnel for doing that.
Yeah. And I do if people make an appointment through my calendar, for
Mm.
sure. If they're doing it digitally, there's a little bit of a process there. But a lot of my clients actually call me, or potential clients actually call me. And so having a way to, while I'm on the phone talking to them, um, to capture that information so that as they're talking, I can be writing. And I am a little bit old school in that there's there's science behind it, the connection that happens when you physically write something versus typing it into a keyboard. So it helps me connect with them, helps me remember their name, some of those kinds of things. And it's
Mm.
actually trackable. Now, I do after the fact, if they become a client, they become digital, right? I take that paperwork, I keep that paperwork and it goes into their file, right? But I also make a digital copy of it because they have a digital record. So much of what I do is digital. But I guess that old school part of me likes to keep the paper stuff too for some reason. Maybe it's from years of helping people to start businesses and run businesses long before digital was an option. So that's probably where that's rooted in. But that's just one example of something that's trackable, that's going to happen repeatedly, that I've standardized. So I ask everybody the same questions, and therefore I'm treating everybody the same. So it just is a protection as well for me as a business owner.
So how do we get all that? Because you could end up with loads of different things then. So how do we get all that organized and keep on top of it? Especially when you're starting off, it's you, and you that's doing everything.
Yep. Yep. So the goal is to follow the customer journey in a way that makes sense. What you don't want is
Yeah.
right,
Sticky notes
5 million
everywhere.
sticky notes with, you know, oh, I answered the phone and somebody gave me their name. I jotted on a sticky note. You could, if you're not an organized person, end up in, and I do use, see, I have some sticky notes. I do use sticky notes for thoughts and
Yeah.
little things I want to track. But when it comes to a client, that that's more important than a sticky note, or even potential client for follow-up purposes. You can pretty
Mm,
easily lose a sticky note. So
yeah.
I say organization is about tracking the customer journey, how you're going to be interacting, and then just tools, creating tools to help you track more effectively, track more efficiently. And
Mm,
and that I think is the most important for the brand new person, because they're not yet usually talking about employees and vendors and some of those things. If you are, you have to have a system for those things as well, right? If it is something that is a repeatable task or repeated task, it needs to be systemized and standardized. And I promise you, it's going to help you stay on top of the things that are important. You won't have to be trying, where are my keys? Have you seen my wallet? Where's my phone? Because you'll know where they are. And that
yeah.
will free up your headspace to do some of the other things. That becomes more habitual, right? So you don't have to think about those things anymore. Now you can focus on creativity and building your business and deciding where you want to take this journey, right?
Yeah.
Instead of being so bogged down in the things that you're trying to track. Systemize, organize, and I promise you, you will thank yourself later.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
actually what I like is what you said about the writing down. You're absolutely right about there is a brain hand link between, and there it does create some, which is why some of the exercises I do with my clients, I actually get them writing in a notebook. Can I
Yes.
type that up? No.
No.
Gotta write it down. Gotta
No,
write it
you
down. It's
can't.
that free flow. But actually just extending your organization further is that if I'm not careful, I end up with lots of bits of paper. Mine's paper, not post-it
Yeah.
notes, A4 sheets. So my organization of having creative thoughts, what I'm doing for my social media, I have different books. So I have an
Yeah.
A4 book, and every
Yeah.
time I have an idea for I write it in there so I can keep a
Right.
track
Yeah.
of different things. So generally speaking, I get away from having the little bits of paper because I
Good.
was doing that, and then I'd end up putting them in a folder.
And they're like, where is that
Where
little
are
piece of
they?
paper? Right.
And so I have a book for meeting with like new people, especially if I've done networking and I'm catching up with people. So I have a book for catching up, and I have a book for creative ideas, courses, different things, programs, workshops, and I put all my ideas in there. So I have that's where my mind dumping goes into
Yeah.
different books. So that's my little bit of organization tip.
And you need that. You really need that because you cannot keep all of that stuff in your brain.
No.
You'll lose stuff. Stuff will fall through the cracks. You'll forget gold, nuggets of gold that popped into your brain, inspiration that came. If you don't capture it somewhere, it's gone. I have a book I call The Idea Vault. And it's just a notebook, The Idea Vault. And if I have an idea, I get it written down in as much detail in that because I'm not going to do something with it right now, probably, but I don't want to forget it. I want to
Yeah.
capture it.
It's
Sometimes I
like
come back later and go, oh my gosh, now's the time, or oh, that was stupid. Right. Glad I didn't do that. You were going to say something.
My biggest secret, the time when I often get huge downloads that just sort of pop into my mind. I can even have whole things of sequences or emails or different things where suddenly the whole thing will be like writing itself in my head, and it's just before I'm going to go to sleep.
Of
It's
course.
always, unless I'm meditating, but just before I'm going to sleep, it's almost like you're starting to relax, you're letting go, and now you're giving yourself a little bit of space
Right.
for inspiration to flow through. And all of a sudden, it's like, have a notebook by the bed. Please have a notebook by the bed. Write it down. Don't think to yourself, I'll remember that in the morning, because no, you won't. No, you won't. Write
Probably
it.
not. Yes.
Write it
Great
down. That is given me some wonderful golden nuggets over the years. Bits, notebook. And even though my husband will say, oh, not again. I'm just putting the light on. I'm just putting the light on, and then it's down. And then 5 minutes later, oh God, I've got to write this piece down now. And he's like, not again. Yeah, obviously.
Yes. I don't want to miss this.
This is gold. This is like
good.
This is rich and fantastic. I've got to capture this now. And then once it's done, I can let it go, and then I can go to sleep.
Yes, yes. So maybe a good practice is some quiet time before you go to bed, where you just let go and so that your brain can, before you actually go to bed. Well, my husband and I read before we go to bed, and often that will get your brain going, get your brain thinking. It's supposed to help relax you.
I meditate, and that does the same, but it depends what type of meditation you're doing and how relaxed and open you are in that state of meditation. Inspiration comes at all different times. You can come when you're out writing, when you're driving, but going to sleep is usually when you're really getting a mind gaps, when you're allowing all that fog of everything just to sort of settle and clear like sediment. And then suddenly it's a bit like, God, there's a freeway right the way through.
Good stuff comes.
Space. And in it comes.
Yeah.
And you've got to capture it while it's there, otherwise it's there and gone.
And gone. So it's about headspace, right?
Mm.
Because our brains are going, 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 going. And when you can just quiet it for a moment and get some space in your head for other thoughts. Yeah, sometimes when I'm in the shower, sometimes when I'm sitting in the pool in the evening, thinking, the stars are out and it's quiet, and I'm thinking, oh, you know what? Right?
Notebook by the pool.
No, that probably won't work. I usually talk about it with my husband. Then that helps. Once you verbalize it and get it
Yeah.
out, then that helps. And later when we go inside, I'm like, well, what did I say? Because it's gone that quickly sometimes. But okay, so there you have it. Getting organized. There's so much value in it for you in your business. It's going to save you time, headspace. It can save you resources. It can protect your hiney from lawsuits, even. Just get yourself organized in a way that makes sense for you. So don't depend on the sticky note. I promise you, you will thank yourself later for getting organized. Okay, if you found this helpful, if you enjoyed this, please like and share with your friends. Be sure to subscribe so that you know when we have new things happening, which of course is every Wednesday. So come back and check us out. But thanks for being with us today, and we will see you next week on the Heart and Mind of Business.
See you next week. Have a wonderfully organized week.
I love that. Yes. Bye-bye.